Boom. So I linked up with one of my buddies that was one of the other SEALs that was in Act of Valor, this movie we made, shockingly now, over a decade ago. One of the things that was neat about making that film, I have lots of thoughts about that film, sometimes regret about, the quiet professional and keeping the nature of our work secret. I think there's tremendous merit in that. And then I also try and hold myself to a super high standard that if we circle the wagons and don't share what we know, what we've learned, some of these thoughts and concepts and real world life experiences, that'd be a mistake too. So I live with one foot in both worlds. But saw a teammate of mine that was with me in it. We got talking and joking about it. And one of the things that made the experience great was the two directors, shout out to Scott Waugh and Mouse McCoy, they really did want it to be authentic. And they would ask us at almost every turn, what would you do? How would this happen? And how would you make this scene better, this concept better? And one of the moments that we filmed, and so it's on film, so I won't give the whole speech because you can find it there, but the director asked me, he said, hey, do you have, like a going to war speech, like your pre-war speech that you give the boys? And I was like, of course. He said, can we film that? And I was like, yeah, you can film it, but it's probably not what you think it is. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, look, if you gave me a Boy Scout troop or a bunch of, young conventional soldiers that had never seen the battlefield before, or maybe, we're in the National Guard and all of a sudden they're deployed and it's time to get it on, I would give a very different speech. I'd give a speech about the Spartans at Thermopylae, the samurai Bushido code. I'd talk about the Roman legions and Hannibal, bringing the elephants over the Alps. I mean, I'd give them some fire up, let's get to war, go type speech. The last thing you need to do with SEALs is motivate them to go to war. Like, they are chomping at the bit. I always used to say I never had to crack the whip once on my boys. I was almost always pulling the reins back so they didn't get too far ahead of themselves with the level of aggression they can bring to the battlefield. So that's not what the speech is about. And so I told him it's more about balance. And he's like, well, let's do it anyway. So I'll let you see the polished version of it, not like I had to rehearse it, but really what I talk about, and I do think it's one of those things that plays in a lot of our lives, is the idea of balance, that we have our life, that life you live at home with your family, and then you have your work life, the life of even your hobbies and things you go out to do. If any of those things, and work in general is something that takes focus and takes rigor and takes discipline, it's very hard to do that well if you're out of balance in your personal life. So I used to tell my guys before we went to the battlefield, look, make sure the direct deposit is done and set at the bank. Make sure your will is up to date and says what you want it to say. If you've got girlfriend problems, marital problems, something going on with your kid, a fight with your dad, your uncle, your brother, resolve it. Get that thing settled so when we step off onto the battlefield, when we make our way into harm's way, you can do so with complete clarity, focus, and drive towards the objective without any distractions. Consider this as you're kind of going through life. There's times when you find yourself, man, the work I'm trying to do, something I'm trying to learn, a team I'm trying to motivate or lead is not working. It's not happening. See if the fault may lie in a level of imbalance in yourself. If you can get that right, I guarantee you moving forward, you'll be better for it. Hey, whatever you're following this on or watching this on right now, if it got there by mistake, let's not have it be a mistake next time. Subscribe, follow. We'd love to have you. Welcome to the Ever Onward Tribe.